Hey everybody, welcome to Casting What's, where we are going to cast some what's.
Yeah, it's what we do here.
Yeah.
You gotta get it in there.
Got to. So you had something you wanted to talk about, Mike. There's been some weird stuff in the news, like pretty.
Yeah, so this is early stuff, so that's probably why it's not on the main show. But this fucking Chinese spy balloon thing, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, my first question to you, because I've only seen a couple things on it. How do we know it's Chinese?
I don't know how they know it's that. I think that's just the story that's being put out here. But here's the thing. So it's found in Montana, right? So this Chinese spy balloon flew from China across the Pacific Ocean, passed over at least Washington State. Who knows where it came from? Maybe it came up from lower and went over parts of California and Oregon as well. I don't know. Flies this far in without any radar or surveillance things picking it up, and floats over Montana for, I can't remember how long, like 2 days or something. And by the way, Montana is home of Malmstrom Air Force Base and a huge chunk of our nuclear arsenal. And we know, due to past episodes of the Whatcast, that this particular Air Force base has been visited by UFOs before. Now, this particular sighting was not over the Air Force base, and it's just this light that was floating in the sky without moving. But wacky shit. Wacky shit.
Yeah, it's a little weird to me that they're just letting it sit there. Now, if it's a balloon, if that's what it is, because at this point in time, I'm not going to believe anything they say, especially if you said it sat there for 2 days, like just still in one spot.
I don't know if it sat in one spot stationary for 2 days, but there's video of it that someone posted where they were actually filming it, and it was just sitting there in the sky the entire time they were filming it, and it didn't move.
Okay, so I guess just for the sake of the conversation, we're going to go with the narrative that it's a Chinese spy balloon, because I'm sure you want to break down some other theory, but it's maybe, since it wouldn't, I don't think it would be able to make that amazing trek that you described, possibly launched from within the United States.
There's actually a second balloon that's being reported now as well.
What?
At the time of this recording, there is a second one that's reported.
Where?
This one was transiting Latin America.
Okay. Shit.
Yeah, I guess Costa Rica is where it was first spotted.
What do you make of that? What do you think about that?
I don't know. Because when it was first reported, it was reported as a UFO in Costa Rica. And there's a bunch of pictures and stuff of this particular one, in addition to the one in Montana. So I don't know. Is the story that it's a Chinese spy balloon a cover-up? Are we getting another Roswell type thing where it's anything but a UFO? Or is it just a UFO that we carelessly let float over? And if we did, for what reason? If it was within range and we could shoot it down, why not shoot it down?
Right. Falling debris is a very weak excuse.
Yeah, especially if it's a balloon.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
I mean, we can put a drone arm it with like spray paint or something like that and just spray its cameras. I mean, be a little Ninja Turtle about it. Just get some like ace bandage and wrap it around a drone.
Yeah. Just get a big bag and just throw it over it.
Bro, I mean, net the damn thing. For real.
Yeah.
Shoot a net thing at it.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
I don't know. That's weird to me.
Karate chop it, for God's sakes.
Yeah, throw a dart at it. I don't know why they're letting it sit there. That makes me think it's not a fucking Chinese spy balloon.
Yeah, that exactly.
If it's some type of an exotic craft,
But what is it?
It makes sense not to shoot it down, right? That could release some weird chemicals or
Right,
something
like we
that.
don't know what it is. And if we shoot it down, there's potential that there could be some toxic debris or some unknown substance leaking.
Or instant retaliation.
Right, yeah.
Wow, so a second one. Do they look similar? I mean, is it the same thing?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well, I mean, from appearances anyway. And based on the story says that they're both Chinese spy balloons, so I don't know. What if this is like another monolith thing where it's everywhere we're going to be seeing these glowing spy balloons?
I'm sure that our government has plenty of reason to put the Chinese spy spin on the whole thing. I think it's weird to do that if it is some type of UAP or UFO, whatever you prefer. But to hear of a second one, that's worrisome, dude. I don't want a bunch of those to start appearing. I don't really care what they are. I don't want them. I don't want more of them.
Yeah, too many is where you draw the line. If there's any more, I'm done with you.
I know they're not as big, but it just sounds like the beginning of Independence Day.
Oh God, yeah. The idea of like a classic alien invasion, though, like that's so scary, but also kind of awesome.
Yeah, it is. I think it would be cool. I mean,
like especially if it wasn't like. I hate to say it, Mateo, but you'd be fucked if there was an alien invasion because you're right in the Bay Area. That's obviously going to be a strike zone. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree.
Where I am, I would probably be, relatively okay for a little bit. So I'd be hearing the news and it would be so fucking scary, but also I'd be like, oh shit, it's like a fucking movie.
Okay, yeah, maybe that's what we can bullshit with, dude. How is this going to go down? More of these things show up. They admit that it's UAPs. We don't know what they're doing. Do you think it goes like the signs route and they want to do hand-to-hand combat to avoid nuclear attacks? Do you think that they're going to land and have laser guns like Mars attacks?
No, if they were going to if their technology was as far advanced as we give them credit for, they wouldn't need to do any of that shit. It would be they wouldn't even need to get into fucking Earth to kill us. They could just do it from space and then come down and be like, all right, cool, this is ours now.
Yeah, good old Glim Glim killed off the world with his poo-poo.
Yeah. And I guess it would also depend, like, what kind of takeover. Like, do they want to make us slaves or do they want to obliterate us? Do they just want to be able to rule over us? What do they want?
That's weird, dude. If we wake up tomorrow and there's two more, I'm going to put on my camo face paint, take out my knife and put a big cut across my chest, and scream in the jungle.
I'm ready for you.
Shit.
Yeah, that second Chinese spy balloon was confirmed 4 hours ago by the Pentagon.
Oh, wow. Confirmed by the Pentagon. Shit.
Yeah.
Gosh. I wonder what's going on, dude. I know we've covered Nostradamus a lot, and I've studied Nostradamus a lot. And he talks about the World War III starting, and he talks about basically what they can make of his quatrain is that Russia would team up with the East. And I've always seen it depicted as the Middle East. But what if they're not talking about the Middle East? What if they got that part wrong? What if it's China East? Even in that cool little video that we watched where they have those cool paintings that depict all his stuff, they depict the East as the Middle East. And maybe from his verbiage, I don't know, I'd have to listen to it again. And I probably will tonight just to see. But I've always wondered that. Because he got a lot of stuff wrong, but he got a lot of stuff right. And there's a certain way to interpret his work, There's people who spend their whole lives just trying translate his rhymes into like sentences. But if you read into it, some of the interpretations, they're from some people's interpretation. Some of them are really far reaches. You're like, what the fuck? Where are you getting that from? There's a lot of stuff that be okay. I don't know. I haven't studied Nostradamus for 20 years, so, but I wonder if there's a mistake there, because his dates were off too. So I mean, like for some big events, not all of them. I wonder if there's been a mistake in his writings, because it sounds pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, you can't discount translation, I suppose.
Right. It's basically riddles, they have to decipher that stuff.
Right, yeah. So, like I said, that one in Costa Rica 4 hours ago, these things have actually been seen all over the world over the past month.
What?
Yeah. And there's close-up pictures of them. They are definitely spy balloons, 100%. There was one, it was spotted over Japan back in 2020, actually. That looks exactly like it, but it was a big balloon with it has these cross beams underneath it. So I don't know what they're for, like maybe antenna or something. There was one last year in India that looks just like this. And then a year ago, there was one that looked just like this, spotted by an Air Canada flight over Hawaii. And that caused the Air Force to scramble jets. But at the time, all of these, nobody knew who they were. They were just these mysterious spy balloons. There was one in December, at the end, middle of December of last year. It looks like a see-through blimp. It's got fins on it, and it's like a blimp shape, but it's kind of see-through. You can just see like the outlines, like where the light catches the fins. It's weird.
Very weird. I don't know. We're not supposed to know what spy blimps look like. So
yeah. I don't know. But so obviously we don't know a lot about this stuff, which is why it's not we're not doing a main show about this. We just we wanted to do Casting What's, and this just happened to be something that's going on right now. So it's like, hey, let's talk about the Chinese spy balloon.
That is bizarre. I mean, I don't know why it's so weird now. I'm sure there's been stories like this of spy craft flying by. Wasn't there like some Russian submarine near the United States a couple of years ago?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
there was. Do you remember? Probably, we might have been doing the show. It was early on. I don't think we talked about it on the show though, but it very well could have been before we started. I don't know. Anyway, 10 or so years ago, we'll say, there was a missile that was mysteriously launched from the Pacific Ocean off the coast of California.
Yeah.
And nobody knew what it was, and the story just kind of faded away.
I do remember that.
Like, it's so, how is that not big news all over the place,
I mean, I don't know. I guess the majority of the people actually just see that and go, huh, that's weird. And I guess a smaller amount of people say, where did that come from? And ask further questions. Why did that happen? Why can't it be identified? Was it from like a cloaked invisible ghost ship or something?
Maybe. But you want to hear something weird though? In 2019, there was an article that came out talking about a Pentagon spy program where they were testing mass surveillance balloons over the United States.
When was this?
2019.
19.
So, yeah. So not too long ago, 4 years ago, they said they were doing this. So what if this is like the rollout of it now? And to cover it up, they're just like, no, these are Chinese balloons, but it's really mass surveillance over the people of the United States. I wish I had a good Alex Jones impression. If only. If only. God damn it. Missed opportunity, I suppose.
I don't keep up to the news too much. I try not to sometimes.
It's depressing. It's so depressing.
But it's a little concerning to see these balloons everywhere. I mean, everybody's that I've seen on the news is talking about China, I guess, gearing up to attack Taiwan or trying to, I don't know.
I just know that the surveillance of citizens has been ramped up considerably since 9/11, and there have been things like I remember in 2012 they passed the NDAA, and they snuck in a provision that allowed the government to spy on the people basically at any point in time for any reason. And there's a lot of these things that just get snuck in there, and it's really weird, like the way that cell phones work and how like all appliances are now smart appliances, and there's no way to turn that off. Like you're connected unless you don't have like Wi-Fi in your house, you're connected, and you know your phone listens to every word you say, whether you're using it or not. If it's in the room, it's listening to you, and it's so creepy.
Yeah, dude. When I have an iPhone and I have the earbuds, you know, whatever they're called, but we all know the phones are listening to us, but I notice if I'm watching YouTube and I have my phone charging, so it's not on me personally, physically. If I walk away from my phone to do something, the ads increase like by double. It's just way more ads. And then I'll test it by putting it in my pocket and going back to what I'm doing, and I won't get as many ads at all, if any.
That's strange.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
It's like literally tracking me in my house. But I got that Oculus VR set, and it wants me to sync my fucking Facebook account to it. I don't have one. The show has one, but I posted on Facebook the email they sent me saying that they're not gonna host podcasts anymore, and they said to make like a mediator account. So I made another account and put that as the mediator of the page, and they shut it down anyway. So I was like, okay. And then I recently logged in and it let me. And as they wanted me to make an account for the Oculus, and the shit they were asking to use and see and control was ridiculous. It's scary. I mean, like they ended up locking me out of an old account I had that I got locked out of in, I think, 2016. And it locked me out again. And I was like, okay, I guess, whatever. And I tried it said, follow these steps to unlock it. They wanted me to send them a photograph of my fucking ID for a fucking social website.
That's weird. That's really weird. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. And I got an email from them. I checked it before I opened it. It was from Facebook. I thought it was a joke. I talked to their help people, and they're like, yeah, just be careful of the glare when you take a photo. I was like, I'm not sending you a fucking photo of my ID. I asked them, do you think that's sane to ask for a photo of my ID for a fucking social media website? That's insane. But that's what I guess, I mean, they wouldn't implement it if people weren't doing it.
Yeah. It is weird how, and maybe it's because we're fucking old. You know, like we came from a time when if you wanted to apply for a job, you actually went and filled out a piece of paper, you know, and wrote all your shit down. And you had a landline that they would have to call you on.
And you had to be fucking home to get that
call.
And
you didn't have caller ID, and you didn't know if they were calling or not. You just had to answer.
Every phone call was like a fucking heart attack in our team.
Yeah. It's like, oh, everybody stay off the phone. I'm expecting a call maybe about a job.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I often wonder if a lot of this stuff is as bad as I think it is, or if I'm just really old and out of touch. And I don't like it because it's different. I like to think that it's because it's evil and wrong, but maybe I'm just an old curmudgeon. I don't know.
watch One Day We'll Go Socialize, and people will be like eating baby elephants at Taco Bell, and they're like, it's what we do now. We're like, what? Yeah,
No, it's cool, man.
Yeah.
Tacos and burritos made out of baby elephants.
They've been doing it for years.
Yeah, no big deal.
We'll just have to accept the strange alien world that we live in.
But I don't wanna. Fucking kids, man.
The internet worked too well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do remember as a kid growing up and getting the internet for the first time. You know, I had AOL, and I remember going online and going into chat rooms and stuff and fucking around and doing dumb shit. And when I first got the internet, I didn't even use the web at all. Like, I would just dick around on AOL and in chat rooms and do all that shit and play fucking Dungeons and Dragons online. Like, that's the shit that I was into. And when I that's when the internet was still like really new, and if you wanted to go to a website that had like graphics on it, it took like a couple minutes for that website to load. So that you could see all the pictures and everything on there. And like, I remember going to websites and seeing a picture load like layer by layer. And you'll be like, oh, wait, I think I can make out what this is going to be. Hold on. And then, you know, the picture would slowly load, and there it was. You're like, oh my God, it's finally there. It's amazing.
The future.
Yeah. So I remember what it was like, and even back then, with it being all slow and weird and new, it was really cool. And but I feel like even then I understood like how cool of a thing it was, and like how it was like more of like a treat or a privilege, not something that I should just have. And now, like, the shit that we carry around in our pockets is just 20 times, well, more than 20, like probably 20,000 times more powerful than the shit we were rolling with. Like, I remember getting a computer that had 8 gigs of RAM on it, and just thinking like that was the most amazing thing ever. And that's like, it's laughable now, and what we have in our fucking pockets it just blows away, and it's like instant. And now like every single kid on earth has a phone and has access to like all this wacky shit that we could only dream of. Like, I remember as a kid thinking like how cool it would be if we had watches where we could call each other, and it'd be like a picture, you know, we'd have the video on our watch. And now we literally have that. That's literally something that we have now.
Yeah, that was my standard as a kid too. That, to me, I would be like, that's the future, is when we can call each other on our watches.
On our watches, yeah. But now, not only can you call someone on your watch, but your watch can monitor your heart rate. You can receive text messages on your watch. You can access the internet on your watch.
Yep.
Incredible. Like, we didn't even know the internet was a possibility. So to us, like, the coolest thing possible would be a video call on your watch. Oh, God. We're so goddamn old, Mateo.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's weird. We were talking about bands earlier. Like I said, I had no idea. I was like, what? No, I don't want to be that old.
Yeah. I can't remember what I just saw something come out about a album that God damn it, why can't I even think of what it was? But it was its 50th anniversary. And granted, I'm not 50 years old yet, but just the fact that album was 50 years old made me feel so fucking old.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember what album it was. Oh well. Yeah. Like I said, I wonder if it's just me being old, or if society is fucked. I really strongly feel that it's society that's fucked, though.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel we've been manipulated to be driven to a certain level of chaos just in time for weird spy balloons to show up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just in time. And it's like I've been saying about the UAP thing all along. Like they can use this to create deniability for whatever the fuck they want. They could fly anything up there and just be like, "Oh, that's a UAP. We don't know what that is." And in reality, they know exactly what the fuck it is. It's their goddamn bullshit.
Or as we experience, they can just say, we can't comment on that because it's sensitive to national security.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's classified because of national security concerns. It's on a need-to-know basis, and that's all I can say on the matter.
We'll discuss that in private chambers that we can't tell anybody else.
Yeah, fuck you fucking asshole.
Well, we will see. Tomorrow I'll call you or text you, and you can tell me how many more new balloons have shown up, if they're shooting out lasers or...
There'll be like 10 more from what I'm predicting. One of them had a humanoid of some sort dangling from underneath it. Or maybe it was floating. It's hard to say.
I'm just going to wait for them all to join up into one big, huge balloon.
Yes, they're nothing to worry about by themselves, but when they all come together and form that giant balloon blob and come raining down on us, that's when we will all know true fear.